Hello, welcome to my Insider's Guide to Pregnancy for people who are planning to be full-term massive pregnant. I am now 40 weeks pregnant, I am full-term, this is my second pregnancy. I had twins the first time round, this is just one. But what I wanted to do is share a few insider tips on what it's like to be massively pregnant and the things that people don't tell you about being massively pregnant and what it's actually like, so you can prepare yourself for the horror that is about to befall you. So, first thing they don't tell you about being pregnant: love your toilet. If you've got a skanky toilet, clean it. Throw it away, buy a new one, whatever. Just, you're going to spend a lot of time in the bathroom. Make sure you have a nice bathroom. And also make sure your toilet isn't skanky, because the first trimester, when you're throwing up and you're hugging the toilet constantly, make sure it's clean, because you'll just be throwing up even more. Another thing is, when you're massively pregnant, going to the toilet is really, really, really hard work. Literally, getting up and off the toilet is hard work because you have no stomach muscles. And when you sit down to go to the loo, you end up lying down like this because there's no other way to get comfortable. So you've got to hope that your toilet has a flat seat, a flat lid, because if it's got a ridge on the back, you're going to be leaning against that ridge night after night. A flat one is so much better. Also, when you're trying to clean yourself up after going to the toilet, you can't reach. You can't reach. There's just no space. You can't get to it. You can't. Physically, it's really hard work. So that's something else. Get wipes, because it's so much easier. Another thing about being heavily pregnant is that your boobs start to leak. And you need to start using pads way before the baby comes. Use maternity leaky anti-leak boob pads. Also, you need to invest in some big pants, big comfy pants, because if you're like this, your pants roll, they roll all the way down, and they have a nice tight line right here that cuts into you. But you know what? You can't get massive maternity pants anymore. But a couple of years ago when I had twins, they were huge. They were all up here and really comfy. Okay, you look ridiculous, but they're so comfy. They don't roll down. But it's really, they're all under bump pants now, which is just really not comfy anyway. So you end up spending all your life pulling them out. Another thing about being pregnant is that maternity clothes just don't fit. You'll be lucky if you find a brand that does your body shape, then you'll just buy all of their stuff. Look at this. Got this top. This is a nursing top with all its little flappy bits. But it doesn't fit. I'm sure these are supposed to go under your boobs, but they just don't, and you end up... you give up. You give up in the end, because what's the point? One thing you should do, though, is invest in a pair of trousers like these. Oh, yeah. They're actually the most comfortable maternity trousers you can get. I got my last pair from Asda. That was a couple of years ago, from George, and you know, I wore them to death. And this pair is from Dorothy Perkins, and it's the only thing that fits me now. Now I'm 40 weeks, and it's just so comfortable. Just get these. Jeans will get tight, and they will be uncomfortable, and they'll be nice in the middle of your pregnancy, and by the end, you just throw them away, because they just will not fit. Oh yeah, another thing about being huge, there's me sort of getting up and getting down, right, is you forget how big you are. I know people say, oh, it's true. One of my biggest pain is the sodding doors. This bit of a door, because you forget. You open a door, oh, and you scratch your belly over and again on the stupid doors. Not really much you can do about that, but there you go. Being this huge, you can't eat. Imagine. Got your food, it has to travel from here to here perilously over all of your clothes. And the fact is, you haven't got a massive maternity wardrobe, so you've only got a few bits of clothes you can wear that you'll fit into. So you have to wear bibs every day, otherwise the food just dribbles down your front. It's a big pain. Another thing is, it might just be me, but I get, for some reason, something about supermarkets. I cry in supermarkets, cry and cry. I get upset just walking in. I'm like, oh, and then you hobble around because you're so big and you can't walk and it's really uncomfortable, and you slowly go, I'm really pregnant and it really hurts. It's really quite ridiculous, but yeah, supermarkets get me. Another thing about being huge, is that if you drop something, picking it up is just impossible. Your poor bloke, or whoever you're with, is going to have to follow you about and pick up your trail of shit. Because if you drop something, you just stare at it on the floor and leave it. It's just too much to physically bend over. Do you know, it's not so much the going over, it's the getting back up. You just don't bother. So yeah, the house is full of rubbish where I've just dropped, oh sorry, husband, I'll just leave that for you. Honestly, the floor's the right state in my house. Now there's something else I wanted to share. In my experience, and I don't know about anyone else's, obviously, I can only speak to my own experience about this, but everyone raves on about writing a birth plan. You pack your hospital bag and you write a birth plan. I wrote in my birth plan, my name's Caroline. I wrote in my birth plan, at the top, the first line, my name's Caroline, but call me Kaz. I don't really like Caroline. Call me Kaz. Nobody, not a single midwife called me by that name. Not a single midwife actually read my sodding plan. There is just, they have their own agenda. Midwives will do whatever they want to do. They don't really give a shit about you. They don't care what you want. All they want is their baby, healthy baby. Doesn't matter how it comes out. Let's just rip it out of you as long as it's fine. They don't care about what experience you have. You're not a person, you're a piece of meat to be processed, in my experience. So write what you like. Write that you want fucking whale song and mood lighting. You'll get what you're given if you go into hospital. Oh, one interesting thing, if you're thinking about having a cesarean, a C-section, the recovery from a C-section is really just fine. It's not this big, awful, you'll hobble about for weeks event. It really is fine. If you're going to have a C-section, you'll be up on your feet in a couple of days. And really, they'll keep you in hospital anyway until you're fine, maybe for a couple of days. And when you first have your baby anyway, you're not going to do much. So don't worry about having a cesarean, because it really is not a big deal. I would say if you have to have it, you'll recover, no problem. Though I know that I've got friends that have had problems with infections and stuff, and it is unfortunate, but it's the minority. You should be fine. Right. Being pregnant is awesome. It's supposed to be awesome. It's actually really hard work, but it's a joyous time in your life. And when you're newly pregnant, you're excited about it. But you're not pregnant enough for people to notice, and they just make you just feel fat for ages, and it's really awful. And I was shopping in Sainsbury's, and really struggling to load because I had the twins, I was struggling to load the pram, and I was standing up, leaning down and loading the pram up. And I said, oh yeah, this is just wearing me out. And she said, oh, don't worry, you can lose that. I'm 6 months pregnant, you bitch! But anyway, when you start to show, and you're big, and you can lumber about the place, and it's really obvious that you're pregnant, then it's lovely. It's lovely because you can just lumber about. And people want to stop and talk. They want to ask you, when's it due? And do you know what you're having? And have you got any more kids? And so you have that same conversation over and over again, which is nice, kind of. But what you'll find is that people don't really want to know what you're having and when it's due and how you're doing. What they want to do is wait for their turn to speak and then tell you all about their children and what they had and their birth experience from a fucking million years ago. And you have to stand there and nod and, oh, it's very interesting. You did. Oh, that it took that long. Oh yeah, 20 hours. It's really wearing. All you want to do is just crack on with your day. In fact, you're the one that's pregnant. You're massive. You want to talk about your pregnancy. It's your special time. But instead they want to rake up the past and talk to you for fucking half an hour about... This is what will happen. Everyone wants to share their story. And I think that's what being in the club is all about. It's not really a club. It's just waiting for your turn to speak. But anyway, it really does bore me, but yeah, you've got to do it. You've got to be polite to total strangers when you haven't really got the time. Yeah, you have to do that. Yeah, I want to talk to you about some more changes that happen that you probably know are going to happen, but it's really fucking weird when it does. I can only speak from a Caucasian point of view, but things go dark. Things go really dark. They don't need to be that dark. Okay, so your boobs, the boob nipple bits go really fucking dark. And babies, I'm sure, are able to make out the difference between pinky brown and white, but purple? Dark purple? Who needs that? And they get bigger, and it's just weird. But I tell you what, the colour changes. It will go back. It will go lighter afterwards. So you should be fine. But it's the same with the old foof. My God, that is one hell of a shock because you can't see. You've got this massive bump in the way, so you can't see shit for so long. You've got no idea what's going on down there. You have any chance to have a look, and suddenly it's dark purple, deep purple, and swollen and weird, and not yours. Don't like it anyway. So yeah, you need to be prepared for that because it's just weird. And anyway, what is foof etiquette for going into a hospital? Because you don't see all these parades of badges going in, do you? You don't know what do most people do. Is it all off? Is it half off? Is it just trimmed? Fuck knows. And anyway, you go to a waxing salon, go get yourself sorted, and there are all these young ladies that haven't even thought about having kids, and it's really hard to know what to do. So I just got it all off. I just vetoed the whole lot, and hopefully that won't be too porn starry. It's just not when you're in labour. It's not anyway, but hopefully I've done the right thing. I don't know. I'd be interested to find out. You can't reach your feet when you're pregnant, when you're heavily pregnant. You can't. You just can't. You need a bloke that can cut your toenails for you, or just do it as much as you can till you just can't reach anymore. Keep trimming, because at some point you'll stop and it'll just be... you can't put your socks on. You can't know where you're going to put tights on. Forget that. It's just too uncomfortable. I had in my last pregnancy and this one a problem with puffy ankles. Everything swelling up. My last pregnancy was really bad, but then that was twins, so what can you expect? Thankfully, from last time, I kept back store. I kept my surgical stockings. So I'm wearing them. Oh, and trainers, because there's no hope. You can't wear heels. What if you fall over? You never forgive yourself. So really boring, clumpy trainers. And I've got me surgical stockings on there. Lovely. If I put socks on, I get massive sock lines and overhanging cankles. It's really just not attractive. So I read in one of these best friend books though, don't be pregnant and think you can get away with wearing a skirt, because you just can't. You've got to wear tights. So don't have bare legs. I don't know about that. But anyway. Another thing about being uber pregalicious is that sleeping is just nearly impossible. You can't get comfortable. You have to lie on your side, and you try and lie on your left side because they all say lie on your left side, it's better for the baby. And so you're trying to go on the left side. You can't lie on your back because the pressure from the belly is just heartburn. And then you've got to prop yourself up with loads of pillows and make sure you've got some Gaviscon next to you. Rennies don't touch it. Gaviscon's just a token gesture. Sitting upright, just sit, just stay up. Don't bother going to bed because there's no point. It's just impossible. I get quite bad leg cramps, so I wake up in the middle of the night. I have to just leap out of bed as quickly as I can and straighten my legs, and it's just bad. Also, I get skin tags of just appear just on my belly. Skin tags, weird. Another thing. And my last thing, it really is quite revolting, but you know what? Just do it. Give in. They've been there on the shelf in the supermarket. They've been there all this time, and now they're there for you. I'm talking about Tena Lady. Yeah, the time has come. When you're heavily pregnant, especially if you've got a cold, if you've got a cough, just give in. Give in and buy lady pads, because you're going to fucking need them. It's really embarrassing. On the box it says for those oops moments. Yeah, you'll have those. Because who remembers to do pelvic floors? Oh, not me! No! It's like, what's the point? There's the pressure and the weight and everything in your belly. You can't be pulling up pelvic floors all the time as well. But you're supposed to, and obviously I haven't, and that's why I now embrace the world of the Tena Lady, and those oops moments are now pretty much taken care of. So anyway, that's my insider's guide to being pregnant. I'm sure there's plenty that I've missed off. There are things that I've not struggled with that other people have. Thankfully I've avoided piles, so that's good. I haven't had constipation. I haven't had really any of the other problems. Now I'm massive. I'm going to the toilet all the time. Yay, toilet. And going. It's hard because the pain is constant. The constant niggly, stabby, scratchy, achy pains are constant in pregnancy, and you forget that most of the time it's just because you need the loo. But because it hurts all the time, you don't realise you need the loo because it feels like you need the loo all the time. So you have to remember to just keep going to the loo because it might be that, and then you find out that it actually is. And yeah, I should probably go to the loo. But that's my guide anyway. If I have missed anything, then sorry, but that's been my experience of being hugely pregnant. Good luck to all of you. If you are going to be hugely pregnant, enjoy, and good luck with the hospital. Stand your ground, because do you know what? You've got more rights than you know. They can't do anything to that baby. You think, oh, you do know best. It's okay, then you do that. You take my baby away and do whatever you want to it. Because you don't realise you're the parent. You can say, no, fuck off. I'm keeping my kid here. My child. I will do what I want to with this baby. You cannot touch my baby. If you don't want to touch my baby, don't touch my baby. And you don't realise just quite how much authority you have as a parent. But the trouble is, you're in a vulnerable position. You feel like there's a new parent. You don't act like a parent because you're still a patient. You don't step into that role for a few months. Be prepared to be strong. If there's something you're not happy with at hospital, then stand up for yourself and say, no, I'm not happy with that. I need to make my own decision. Just be strong, because you've got more power than you think. Anyway, that's my final tip. That's fun. Enjoy.